Hi, my name is Sandy Tinsley, and this is my screencast on my Schoology page. This unit encompasses unit of measurements. It starts off with all about me. They can get all the information about me. Starting here, all the information about the 4th grade math they'll be experiencing, general information for the syllabus for this course, classroom policies, homework policies, etiquette, and how to communicate with others. They have an introduction page that they will do to introduce themselves to the class. There's a chat room. If they have any questions or need help, they can get help from their classmates or me by posting there. Then I have all my resources here that they can go to throughout my course and find information. There's also a Schoology library where they can learn about Schoology, how to use Schoology, and Schoology for their parents. I also have a reference sheet with all my references here for Brain Pop and everything that I use throughout the unit that they can reference at any time, or anyone that needs to reference can reference at that time. And then we'll go to the main part of this, and that's the lessons and to this unit. They're in different colors, and it starts with my pre-assessment. My pre-assessment, we'll take a look at it, and we'll preview it, and the instructions are important. It says answer the questions the best you can. You may not know all the information. This is a pre-assessment that will help you with your goal setting for the unit. I always tell the students that they might not know all the answers because it's the pre-assessment, and this is basically what they will be learning, and this will help them set up their goal setting page. So the next part is the goal setting. They'll go to goals. They'll click on goals. It says complete your goal setting page. Hit the blue link that says goal below and make a copy. So they'll hit this link and they'll hit make a copy. They'll make a copy and they'll put their name and their date. They'll look at their pre-assessment. They'll put their score there, and then they will set their goals. Write a goal for your measurement unit and explain how you will reach that goal in the box below and share it with me. So they'll write their goal and they'll explain how they'll reach it. I even have bullets of things that they might want to consider for their goal, and then they'll share it with me. The box expands as they write in it. Going back to the lessons in the unit, we will go on to Lesson 1. Lesson 1 starts with an introduction. In the introduction, it will talk about what they'll do, their focus, their vocabulary, and the Common Core standards for that unit. Then they'll go on to a Khan Academy. In the Khan Academy video, they'll write a comment about something they noticed or wondered after completing the video and practice page, and they'll respond to 2 peers of what they noticed or wondered. And I give them some examples of what they might want to comment to a peer. Next, they'll go on to parts of a meter. They'll get their paper meter and they'll assemble it, and then they'll have questions that they'll consider in their group. And after they consider these questions, they'll find 3 objects that they could measure using a meter, a decimeter, a centimeter, or a millimeter. And they'll comment in their discussion post what they found using the meter, the decimeter, the centimeter, and the millimeter. After they complete that assignment, they'll go on to their independent or individual assignment. Their individual assignment says complete the assignment, find the appropriate pictures that will support measuring the nearest millimeter, centimeter, decimeter, meter, or kilometer. And I have an example. Here's my example. I would measure this quarter to the nearest centimeter. I would measure the distance from Delaware to New York to the nearest kilometer. So I figure with my example, then they will go on to theirs. They'll make a copy. They'll do just that. They'll add 5 pictures of 5 items you would measure, making sure to have an example for each of the term below. So they'll create a picture for centimeter, millimeter, meter, decimeter, and kilometer after viewing my example and after doing the work with their peers. Then they will share their independent activity. Going on with Lesson 1, they will view a Tim and Moby video and they will get the password from the front board, and then they'll take a quiz. After they view the video of that and take the quiz, they'll see if they're ready for the next assignment. And the next assignment is a discussion with how do the prefixes kilo, hecto, deca, deci, centi, and milli help them understand the metric system better. And they'll write their ideas there. And then from there, they will go on to their exit ticket if they feel ready. The exit ticket, they will answer the questions and submit their answers to me, their assignment. Then they will move on to lesson 2. Moving on to lesson 2, once again, they will view the focus, the vocabulary, and here are the Common Core standards for lesson 2. Lesson 2, they'll view a video on volume. They'll write a comment about something they noticed and wondered after completing the video, and then they'll respond to 2 peers of what they noticed and wondered. Moving along, they'll go on to their group assignment. The group assignment is called Fun with Water. Now, since it's Fun with Water, they will need to set their Chromebooks aside. And I said read the directions below. Before beginning the steps, be sure to set the Chromebooks aside away from the water. When you're ready to recap, dump any remaining water and log back into your Chromebooks. So that's put there. They're going to learn about liquid volume, and in groups of 3, they are going to look for a container marked 100 milliliters, and they're going to compare all their containers with that benchmark. It says be able to discuss your container. If your container holds more or less than the benchmark container, there'll be 6 containers to compare with the benchmark container. Make sure each group member speaks clearly about 2 of the containers. So each group member needs to talk about 2 of the 6 containers. I give them an example of what you might say while holding the benchmark container and the other container. The benchmark container holds more water than the container. I know this container holds less than 100 milliliters of water. And they'll do that in their recap video. Next, in lesson 2, they'll go on to measures of liquid volume. They'll do an assignment, and since they worked with a peer and they did their video, they will now be able to do their assignment. They'll submit that assignment to me. After they do that assignment, they'll do an exit ticket if they feel ready with Puzzle Penguin. And this exit ticket has a 10-point grading scale where an excellent is they solved the problem correctly and thoroughly explained their answer, and they were able to submit it to me. After they do their exit ticket with Puzzle Penguin, they'll go on to mass. They'll leave volume and go on to mass. They will watch a video, but they will comment, noticing and wondering, but they do not have to comment on 2 peers. After they view the video of mass, they'll do independent or a group assignment where they'll use the bench weight of a paper clip to 1 gram. It says measure a few objects I have provided for you on the metric balance scale compared to the benchmark weight of the paper clip. Each student must make an independent submission. So even if they do it with a group, they're going to submit independently, and I gave them an example. Example, the eraser was heavier than the paper clip. I know it weighs more than 1 gram. They'll move along, and they'll play a game. It's called It's Game Time. They'll do quizzes. They'll hit the code. They'll do Control-C. They'll go to quizzes. They'll hit Control-V. And they'll proceed with the game. I've already started the game, so they'll turn it on. They'll start. They'll play the game. They'll know if they're correct. The first question says, which would be best metric units to find the mass of a school desk? They'll end the game, and they'll see how they'll do. And after they play the game, if they feel they're ready, they will go on with the next assignment of questions about math. We'll see how they do, and then they'll move on to the next lesson, which is lesson 3. Lesson 3 is unit and time, again, starting with the focus and the vocabulary and the Common Core standards. They will then go to a video that I created on YouTube that will get them ready to understand how to add time and change from minutes to hours and hours to minutes watching my video. After they do that, they will do individual in a group of 3, a line plot, and I give an example of a line plot. I give them ideas of what their line plot question could be, and then I explain how mine, time spent reading each night in hours, how to interpret it, and what they're going to say on the recap. Out of 15 students surveyed, 0 hours. No student spent 0 hours reading each night. 2 students spent a quarter of an hour reading, or 15 minutes, with a total of 30 minutes, or a half an hour a day. With this one, and it goes on with the bullets, and I said this would be a good way to recap your line plot. Make sure each group member, even if you are a part of a group, takes a productive role and speaks on camera. So here I have the recap, and they're to speak on camera and then comment on 2 peers' videos about their line plot. The next thing they'll do, after they do that, they'll watch an elapsed time video, and they'll respond to 2 peers on what they noticed and wondered. After they do that and they feel confident, they'll go on to the assignment, and they'll submit assignment, and then I'll know how they are doing with time. They'll watch a video by Tim and Moby, and they'll do a quiz on elapsed time, and again, seeing how they're doing with elapsed time, just more practice with it, and then they'll do an exit ticket that will go into my grade book. I'll see how they're doing with that. After they finish the exit ticket, they'll go on to lesson 4, customary measures of units of length. They have their focus and their vocabulary and their Common Core standards listed there. They'll go on to a group of 3 using a yardstick. They'll write in the discussion post the objects they found and stating how many yards the object was, how many feet, and how many inches the object was in a post. Next, they'll go on to taking that information and creating an individual assignment where they'll add their media. They'll put something they can measure in inches, feet, yards, and miles. And as I gave them an example, I said paper clip about 1 inch, and I put my name here. And that's how they'll add their media to the lesson. After that, they'll take they'll do an assignment. I'll see how they're doing. They'll submit it to me, and when they feel ready, they'll do their exit ticket, and we'll see how they're doing, and that will get scored. That will end lesson 4. I have something called Fun with Measurement that they can use throughout the unit to work on skills with measurement. And again, when they feel they're ready, they will take their quick quiz. The quick quiz will preview my quick quiz here, and this will end the unit. They'll look at the instructions. It says solve the variety of problems. We read the questions carefully. They'll read the different variety of questions. They're different levels of Bloom's taxonomy. We have a higher level question where they compare a centimeter to a decameter. They'll do elapsed time. They'll convert meters to centimeters, liters to milliliters. They'll also tell me what unit of measure they'll use to measure the top of the desk, and they'll defend their answer, again using a higher level of questioning. And what would weigh more, a paper clip or an eraser, and they'll defend their answer. And lastly, what metric unit of volume would you use to fill a pool? Defend your answer. All these questions are using different levels of questioning strategies in this lesson, and we'll see how they do. This is my unit in measurement, and hopefully this was helpful.